Story is funny because I've been thinking about where the Halo story goes for about 10 years. I mean, even as a fan, it's like, I wonder what's going to happen next. We have things mapped out fairly far, probably 10 years, but they're pretty vague. They're big plot points. We think that X will happen. We think that Y will happen. We think they should go visit Z. I think there's a danger in getting too granular in your planning because the realities of game development are different than the realities. If this was a novel, you could just keep writing it, but it's not a novel. You know, the new technology appears and gives you new opportunities. Pieces of the sandbox end up being less or more popular than you might have expected. And so the constant shifting reality, never mind the technology of the actual gameplay content, should be the thing that defines your gameplay universe. And so we try not to paint ourselves into corners, but what we have done very carefully and very deeply is build ourselves sort of believable parts of the universe which we can pull from. And so there are these events and characters happening elsewhere in the universe that are real enough that we can connect the mainline story of the what we call the Reclaimer saga right now directly back to those things. And think about it like World War II, right? World War II was a really big war, and it happened on a lot of different fronts in a lot of different continents with a lot of different actors and antagonists and protagonists. And you can tell an infinite number of stories by plucking from the ingredients of World War II. As we build the sagas, certainly 343's main focus is the Master Chief's arc. There are pieces of the story that are threads that people will want to follow to logical conclusions, but really we're building the main arc, and things will spin out of that, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily have to spin out into their own product. They can just spin out their own piece of the story. How we present that and how that's distributed over the next decade, honestly, we don't really know, because technology is going to change so dramatically, and people's habits and the way they digest video games are going to change. So we have a broad idea that's very simple at its core, which is to build one game and then build another game and then build another game and keep telling the story that way. But you know, it'd be foolish for us to predict exactly how that's going to play out over a decade. We at least know how it's going to play out over this year. So Halo 4 is how it's going to play out this year.